What is happening, everybody? Happy Friday to you all. Today is Friday, May 8th, 2020, and this video was requested by one of my students. Order of Operations slash PEMDAS. Now, before we go any further, let me go ahead and say this. I've done some thinking, and I decided that I may do these videos by request only. Um, Simply because there's a lot of things that need to be covered, and I honestly cannot cover them within an hour period of time. So again, if you have a request that you would like for me to do as it relates to basic algebra and basic geometry, please leave it in the comment section on my channel, and I will be more than happy to oblige. Or you can simply text me if you have my information, or email me if you have my information, and I'll be sure to make that happen. Depending upon how many requests we have in this manner, hey, might actually just do it every Friday, or I'll just do it as it is requested. Okay, so without further ado, before we begin, I want to say happy Nurses Appreciation Week. Their day actually, I believe they started celebrating on Wednesday. So if you are a nurse that is watching this, or if you know somebody that's a nurse, give them a big hug, a high five, and a shout out. Because without the nurses, which are the essential workers, we don't know what we would be doing with Auntie Rona and Uncle Virus. So shout out to all the nurses. Your favorite nerdy educator loves you all, and thank you so much for your hard work, dedication, and sacrifice in helping our families and helping us keep safe and just doing what you're doing. I appreciate you. Okay, so with all that being said, let us go ahead and get started. Okay. Now, this video will not be long. I'm going to try to keep it at maybe 25 to 30 minutes tops. So again, please make sure that you are paying attention. You can pause the video at any given time, take your notes, and to do whatever it is that you can do, because that's what the beautiful part about these videos are when I post them on my channel. All right. So let's talk about some stuff as it relates to PEMDAS. Now, when I was coming up, I'm going to explain what all this stuff means in a minute. But when I was coming up, we did the PEMDAS. We did the Please Excuse My Dear Aunt Sally. Okay. And for those who may not know, the P stands for parentheses. I had a professor that used to say parentheses. I don't know if my professor was trying to be funny, but I liked it. So I ended up saying it myself, but whatever. So P stands for parentheses. E stands for exponents. M, multiplication. D, division. A, addition. And S, subtraction. Okay. Now, this is what I learned growing up as it relates to order of operations. But throughout the years, I have noticed that PEMDAS has undergone several different changes. And for the life of me, I had a hard time understanding why. But I think I understand now, simply because around the world they use different terminologies and different things. So although in America we use PEMDAS, other places may use BIMDAS or BIDMAS, okay, or BEDMAS or GEMDAS. Okay. It just depends. But just understand that if you see either of these, just know that they all derive from PEMDAS. Okay. I'm not going to spend too much time on these other three. I just wanted to introduce it to you all because, again, some people learn the same type of math, but they learn it differently. So somebody may have learned BIDMAS. Somebody may have learned BEDMAS. Some people may have learned GEMDAS. But just understand that all of these are derived from PEMDAS, which is Please Excuse My Dear Aunt Sally. This one actually stood for Grace Excuse My Dear Aunt Sally. I just found that to be hilarious for some odd reason. I don't know. But nonetheless, we are only just going to stick with this guy right here. Okay. So we're going to follow these rules here because that is very, very, very important. Now, before we go any further, in order to be successful in PEMDAS, you must make sure you know how the order of PEMDAS works. So again, it is very important that you understand that there is a particular order in certain math concepts. PEMDAS is one of them. You cannot go out of order. Otherwise, your answer will be wrong. So you have to make sure that you are calculating your answers correctly and making sure, of course, that you are following that order. All right. So I'm going to show you a couple of examples of how PEMDAS works. All right. So as you can see, I have 3 problems that are on my board here, and we're just going to go ahead and get started. Okay, and there goes my floating enlarged toolbar. Hey, floating enlarged toolbar. All right. All right. So number 1, we have 8 times 13 minus 2 in parentheses minus 6 squared. All right. So this is what I'm going to do. The first thing you have to ask yourself is this question. And you can feel free to, you don't have to necessarily write this part out on your paper, simply because it's on the other, slide. But this is just going to help us answer the questions of what do we have, so that way we would know how to follow the order. So the first thing you ask yourself is, do you have any parentheses or any brackets? Remember, in BEMDAS, the B stands for bracket. So bracket, grouping, that's the G in GEMDAS. All of those just fall under parentheses, okay? So if you have anything that's in parentheses or brackets, that's exactly what you do first. So because I have something in parentheses here, I am going to follow the order. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to check this off because I do have a parenthesis. So I'm going to have 8 multiplied. Now I'm not going to put the X, the multiplication sign there, because that's actually going to kind of throw me off. So I have 13 minus 2, and that gives me 11. Okay. Now remember, when you have 2 things that are together like this, that automatically denotes multiplication. Okay. So that's very important that you know. Okay. So then I'm going to ask myself, can I go ahead and just rewrite this out? Okay. So now I'm going to ask myself, do I have any exponents? I believe exponents, also with BEMDAS, it stands for indices. I think I'm saying it right, or indices. I don't know, but it just really threw me off again. So just know that if you see the I in BEMDAS, just know that that's the same thing as exponents. Okay. So I do have an exponent, which is this, which is 6 squared. Now remember, you have to know, and it's very important that you remember how exponents work. If you do not know how exponents work, my strong suggestion for you would be to do some research and make sure that you know how to do it. That's very important. All right, so now I'm going to say 8 times 11 minus 36, because remember, 6 squared, I'm going to write this up here, is the same thing as saying 6 times 6. Okay? So anytime you square a number, you are multiplying that number by itself twice. Okay? So keep that in mind. Now, my next question, M. M is for multiplication. Do I have any multiplication? Yes, I do. This is my multiplication right here. So I'm going to check that off, and I'm going to say 8 times 11 gives me 88. Okay, So that gives me 88 minus 36. Now I still have to continue on with the order to make sure that I don't miss any steps. I do not have any division. I do not have any addition, but I do have subtraction because that's my last step. So 88 minus 36 gives me 52, if I am not mistaken. So that is my final answer. Okay, my final answer going from 8 times 13 minus 2 in parentheses minus 6 squared gives me 52. Okay. I'm going to switch colors here. I normally start off with blue. I don't know why I didn't start off with blue this time. But anyway. All right. So the next one. The next problem we have, and again, I'm not going to rewrite the PEMDAS over here. I'm just going to use color coordination. So I asked myself, do we have any parentheses? Yes, we have parentheses. Matter of fact, we have 2. I thought I changed this color. Uh-oh. I really honestly thought I changed this color, y'all. All right. All right. So I have parentheses. Now, this is the thing. Do not confuse the parentheses part with the order. Basically saying you're not going to say, well, I'm going to do this first because division comes before subtraction. No, all of this is under parentheses. So you still want to do whatever the operation tells you to do in the parentheses. That's going to be very important. So I have 10 minus 4, which gives me 6. Now, that is going to be squared, and I'm going to put that in my parentheses. And there's a reason for that, and I'll explain in a moment. Okay, now that looks like it's a plus. Yeah, I know Miss Hampton got bad eyes. All right, so I'm going to take that as a plus. And then I have 15 divided by 3, which gives me 5. So my P is done right there. Okay, now my next question is, do I have any exponents? Yes, I do. So I'm going to go ahead and check that off here. Okay, and then I'm going to go through with the 6 squared, which is the same thing as saying 6 times 6 up here. So I'll just write that so that way you'll know. And that gives me 36. Okay. Now, again, you still want to go through the rest of the letters of the orders of operations to make sure that you do not miss any steps. So, no, I do not have any multiplication. No, I do not have any division. I do, however, have addition. So 36 plus 5 gives me 41. And of course, I do not have any subtraction. So this is my final answer for this second problem. Okay. So it's all about going in the order of the steps and making sure that you are following the order to a T. Because if you go out of order, you will get the wrong answer. Trust me, I've seen it, I've experienced it, I know it for myself. All right. So now I'm going to switch colors again, and I am going to do number 3. So again, we ask ourselves the question, do we have any parentheses? And we do here. So we have a parentheses here. So I'm going to check that off here. And I'm going to do whatever the operation tells me to do. So because that's subtraction, I am going to subtract 56 from 6. That gives me 50. Okay, so now I am simply just going to rewrite the rest of my problem. Let me go ahead and move you out the way. Matter of fact, sorry. Okay, so let's see. So I have 50, and that's going to be divided by 25 minus 6 squared. All right. So now again, my next letter is E, E for exponent. Do I have any exponents? Yes, I do. So I'm going to do that here, and I'm going to check over here. And now I'm just simply going to rewrite my problem. 50 divided by 25. Now this is the thing, and this is where we have to know how these things work. 6 squared is 36, correct? So I am going to just simply write my 36 here. Okay, so that's going to be very important because 6 is a positive number. Now, my next step is multiplication. I don't have any multiplication in this one. Do I have any division? Yes, I do. So I have 50 divided by 25, and that leaves me with 2. Okay. Now, I know what you're thinking. Before I go any further, can my answers be negative? Yes, they can. So do not be alarmed if you get a negative answer. Sometimes your answer will be negative. Sometimes your answer, if you're dealing with decimals, sometimes your answer will be in a decimal. If you're dealing with fractions, sometimes your answer will be in a fraction. But please remember, as long as you're following the rules of PEMDAS, you are good to go. All right. So I had division. I don't have any subtraction here, but I had addition, but I do have subtraction. And that gives me negative 34. Okay. Now, I want to show you all something. Now, these are the problems that I got from a worksheet. And what I normally would do is whoever requests the video, I always try to do certain problems from a worksheet, and then I will email you the worksheet. So again, if you would like for me to do a video, I would be more than happy to do that. Please let me know in advance because it really takes time for me to put these slides and presentations together, and it takes even longer for the videos to upload to my channel because they go through their process as well. So I want to show you all something very quickly, and then that'll be the end of this presentation. Oh, okay. It doesn't want to go. All right. So if you all are on social media for as long as social media has been out, you know that every year, I would say around July or August, maybe, probably right before school begins, they always send out this particular math problem. And I'm going to see if I can remember how it goes. If I can find my cursor. Okay, let me go to blue. Okay, I believe that's how the problem is set up. I think those are the numbers that they use. And I'm actually going to do the same thing in red, and I'm going to use different numbers. Well, not different numbers, but a different color. Okay. Now, a lot of you all would do this. Of course, you will follow the rule. You would say, please excuse my dear aunt Sally, Sue, Shamika, whatever your auntie name is, Susan, it really don't matter. Shirley, okay? But just know that that's the acronym for parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. Now, if we follow this rule, if we actually follow this rule the way that it tells us to do it, this is what we would do, right? We would say, okay, well, multiplication comes before division. So I am going to say 6 divided by, and then you're going to say 3 times 2, because remember, multiplication comes before division, and that would give you 6, and therefore your answer would be 1. I'm going to give you a sad face because that's wrong. Now, I know what you're thinking, Ms. Hampton, why is this wrong? Well, I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to type the answer down here momentarily. But now I'm going to show you the correct way of how to solve this particular problem. All right? So I'm going to rewrite it here. 6 divided by 3 times 2. All right? I am going to start with division first. And there's a reason. There's always a reason why Ms. Hampton does what she does. And if you followed me or you know me long enough, you know there is a method to the madness. 6 divided by 3 is 2. And if I multiply that by 2, my answer is 4. Uh-oh. Why did I do that? All right, here we go. All right. So this is my correct answer, and we will give it a smiley face. Because Ms. Hampton likes smiley faces. Okay. Now, I'm going to go over to this problem and do the exact same thing. So I want you to stay, I want you to stay with me here. So if we follow the PEMDAS rule as it relates to this particular problem, we would say, okay, well, 6 minus 3, that gives me 3, plus 2 gives me 5. And that is also wrong. Again, there's a method to the madness, so stay with me. All right, so now I am going to say 6. So let me rewrite it again so that way everybody can see what it is that I'm doing. Now, 6 minus 3, well, I wouldn't do that. What I would do is I would say 3 plus 2. That gives me 5. And my answer is 1. Now you have to understand that, and let me, multiplication and division are inverse operations. Okay. Okay, so now what I'm going, I didn't mean to do that, undo that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy. Okay. Now, and I'm just going to switch addition and subtraction. Are inverse operations. So what does this mean? Anytime you see an order of operations problem and your division comes before your multiplication, or if your subtraction comes before your addition, you are going to work from left to right. Why? Because these are inverse operations. So you don't have to follow the please excuse my dear Aunt Sally rule as it relates to inverse operations. Okay, so I'm going to show you all this again. And what I'm going to do now, I am going to copy. I'm going to open up a new board here so that way you can see what it is that I'm saying here. Okay, and then I'm going to go back here And I'm going to do the same thing. Okay. Now, example. Another example. I'm going to use the same numbers over here, but I'm going to change the signs. Okay. Now, because these are inverse operations, I can work this problem from left to right, which means 9 divided by 3, that gives me 3. And 3 times 3 gives me 9. Now, had I done it the other way, okay, so I'm going to rewrite it again. So that way I want you to see the difference. So had I done it the way that I feel that it should be done, I would say, oh, multiply first. I would bring my 9 down, and then I would say 9 divided by 9, because 3 times 3 is 9, and that answer would be 1. That would be incorrect. Now, I'm here to tell you, if you are practicing for any test that deals with operations, whether it's a high school test or a middle school test or your GED or even college math, I guarantee you that this will be a choice. One will be a choice if you had this particular problem. So please make sure that you understand that multiplication and division are inverse operations. Inverse is a fancy mathematical term for opposites. That's it. That's it. All right. So now I am going to do this same problem, but this time I'm using subtraction and addition. So I am going to work from left to right. Okay. So I'm going to say 9 minus 3 gives me 6 plus 3 equals 9. Ooh, we got a lot of nines going on. Shout out to the number 9. 9 is a great number because the 9th month is September. September is my birthday. So yeah, you see how I did that? All right. So this would actually be the correct answer. Now, of course, again, if we are not careful and paying attention to our signs and what we're supposed to be doing, then we will come up with the incorrect answer. So again, 9 minus 3 plus 3. Okay. So if I were to do this from left to right, oh, 3 plus 3 is 6. 9 minus 6 equals 3. Incorrect. But I can guarantee you that will be a choice. So do not make this mistake. Again, just like how multiplication and division are inverse operations, addition and subtraction are inverse operations as well. Okay, so please, please, please make sure that you can read the signs. Make sure that you are not mistaking the division sign for a plus sign. Make sure, because I have bad eyes, so I do it all the time. But make sure that you are not doing that, because again, that will yield you the wrong answer. Okay. So what I will do, and I'm going to see if this works, I am going to leave a link. Yeah, I'm going to leave a link in the comments section as it relates to where you can find extra practice worksheets in the event that I do not have your email address, or you're just passing through and you're like, I really want some practice on these orders of operations with the BIMDAS and the PEMDAS and the GEMDAS and all these other DOSes. Okay, so I will leave a link either in the description box or in the comment section, which will be pinned, so that way you can click onto it and hopefully it works for you. If it doesn't work, please leave a comment and let me know, So that way I can fix it. All right. So I think this is way under 30 minutes. This was a very quick and easy lesson on order of operations. So again, remember, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. That is the granddaddy of order of operations. If you see anything else that's varied from that, just know that it's the same thing, but they're just using different letters to represent um, different things, but they all fall under the same scope of please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Okay. So again, thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to go ahead and stop this screen share. And I do not know how long this video is. I do not know where my cursor is. Okay. Really got to find that guy. All right. So again, thank you all so much. Shout out to my student who requested this video. Again, I don't have anything to do on Fridays. So if you would like for me to do a video on any math concept that you are having trouble with within the scope, let me be clear, within the scope, okay, of basic algebra or basic geometry, please don't ask me about calculus and pre-calculus and trigonometry. Now, could Miss Hampton do those things? I technically can, but I am going to stick with the scope of algebra and geometry. If you need any help with any advanced math, there is a site called schoolyourself.org. I will leave that information in the comments section or description box as well. It is a free site. You can go there. They have everything you need as it relates to higher level math. Okay, so please check that out. It is a free site. I'm actually reteaching myself trigonometry right now, and I think it's fabulous. Okay, so again, if you have any questions, if you have any ideas or just anything within the scope of algebra and geometry and you would like for me to go over it, please leave it in the comment section and I will be sure to do that for you. Because as your favorite nerdy educator, it is important that you understand these concepts and knowing how to apply them. And the best way that I can do that is by making it make sense. Because that's just what I do. Okay. So with all that being said, Miss Hampton loves each and every one of you. There is absolutely nothing you can do about it. I'll probably come back this weekend with another virtual announcement video. So please stay tuned for that. And make sure that you subscribe and like my channel. I think I'm close to 40 subscribers right now. And I'm really excited about that. I really, really am. So again, share this video with a friend. Let them know, hey, I have a nerdy educator who is awesome with math, and I do the best that I can to take my time and break things down clearly and concisely so that way you can have a better understanding of it. Okay. So with that being said, I love y'all. I think I'm gonna go take a nap. I don't know. I'm gonna go do something. But y'all, please be careful. Please be safe. Practice social distancing. Continue to wash your hands. Stay home. Stay home. You don't need to go anywhere. You can get your quarantine snacks delivered. Okay. You don't need to go out there. Stay home. Hampton needs you. All right. So with that being said, I'm gone for real. I love you guys, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.